everyone, and welcome back to Inner Talks. Today, I have a very special guest, and I am super honored to have not just a great friend, but a woman that's admirable, inspirational, and very talented. Thank you, Mariana B, for being here with us today. I would love to start by introducing yourself really fast before you give us a little bit of your highlights, because you have such an amazing um, background that I would love our audience to get to know better. So
Thank
Mariana,
you for having me.
of course, yes. No, I'm super happy. I'm very excited of this conversation because I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot more about you. So let me tell you guys that Mariana B is an international emerging musical artist. She has won various original music competitions globally. She achieved the first place in the Audience Choice Award of Texas, and she has won as well the Best Original Song. I've also heard about the City of Lights that I want you to go more in depth with this beautiful song that I'm very excited to hear more of the story behind it. Mariana's musical style has been influenced by her Middle Eastern, Mexican, and American upbringing. And she writes, produces, arranges, and composes her music in multiple languages, which honestly is admirable, Mariana. Like, we've been friends for a long time, but learning more about you has been like truly a blessing. She has traveled, and she holds a bachelor's in music and international affairs. And she also got some studies of masters in Berklee College. So with that being said, Mariana I would love to start this by also saying a little bit of how much travel you have done. Right now we have you here in San Antonio, but you have been in London, New York, Spain, Holy Land. So, oh my God, there's so much we need to talk about. So welcome, and thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for having me. This is such a gift, and I really admire your trajectory as well. We met when we were in our undergraduate studies. So, seeing like how far you've come with everything you have done and now doing this together is such a full circle. So, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. No, you're right. Like that time flies, and look, the
Bye.
purpose of this podcast, and those who listen to us know already that I always try to have remarkable friends, speakers who have a passion, and they follow their hearts, and they find this beauty in life overall. And one of the things that I admire about you, Mariana, is the amazing faith that has led your journey. So I would like to start by asking you, what's that passion behind the music, and for our audience to get to know you better from your voice, can you tell us a little bit of how has that been for you?
My passion for music.
Yes, for music.
Hmm. Well, I guess it was a journey that I kind of discovered in some ways on my own. Um, I did have influence from my family because my father is very musical. So he would always buy, we've moved quite a lot. I have lived in, obviously Mexico, the US, etc. But my father would always buy keyboards or like little pianos, and because he liked music. So myself and my siblings, we would run to like the keyboard and kind of like, oh no, it's my turn, so I had that like curiosity since I was little. um and then I joined choir when I was a little girl, and I guess I was enjoying it, but no one really told me when I was a little girl, like, you should do this as a career. It was just
Yeah.
something that I started discovering as I was joining different electives in school. And then I started, participating in competitions, and I started, winning and stuff. So I guess those were indicators that hey, I think there's something here for me, you know. I remember the first time I sang like a pop performance on my own. I was about 14 in middle school, and I sang the song for the talent show. I sang Jar of Hearts. Don't know if you know that song, by Christina Perri,
Yes.
and with the piano. And it was my first time, and I was shaking, playing and singing. And for me, that was the greatest thing, that I had the opportunity to sing in front of people, and that I even made it to be able to sing in the talent show. And then afterwards, people came up to me like they were emotional. They were like, even the parents of my friends were like, that was so moving, your performance. And I was like, what? It was really a shock for me. So those were little, for me, little signs to keep navigating the path of music. And then one thing led to another, and then in high school I had the blessing to be in a high school that has one of the best choir programs in Texas, Reagan High School, shout out. And so we had teachers that were very, very we high standards. And so, like 300 choir kids, we all wanted to be in the top choir. So that really built a muscle to grow in my musicianship. And that's where I started to songwriting, and then being part of musicals. So I really have to credit my high school experience, um, that led to my musical muscle to expand and want more and more and more.
Yes.
And then from that, then into college, when we met, um, I wanted to pursue music. I wanted to release my own music, and learn to produce music and record. So I had the opportunity to double major in music and international relations. So I just yeah, it's been a journey of discovery and trying new things. And then I guess, yeah, like one thing leads to another, and then in college you get these opportunities for other competitions, but
Yes,
in the university level. And
absolutely.
then, you just keep going, and there's not a path in music. That's the thing. There are some paths, I guess, but I always like to see the different journeys of artists I look up to. Uh, but there's not like a one way, like in other degrees or in other fields like medicine or law.
Yes,
So that's been a challenge.
yes,
But when I feel like when God, or what, when your beliefs, but puts a passion within you, and you take the chance to pursue it, he gives you opportunities to grow and to polish that passion. So I
absolutely.
guess I'm still in that journey right now. So
Thank you, Mariana. And I think that's the beauty from what I'm hearing right now is there's been definitely a lot of growth. As you said, like those stories in high school and then college. And then how does it feel? Like I'm very curious about this because this amazed, like I'm very amazed by this. How does Mariana B feels from being, as you said, those first times playing the piano, shaking and a little nervous,
yeah.
to being in remarkable and acclaimed stages like New York? Uh, how have you ever put some thought on, oh my God, like a, a couple of years ago, I was nervous. I didn't know what was going on. How does Mariana B feels now from being in stages like that, performing London, Spain? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Actually, thank you for the question because sometimes, like you said at the beginning of the show, life goes by so fast that it's hard to sit down sometimes. I mean, we can all make the time, but to look back at my journey, so and see, like, I guess, and be grateful for the opportunities. Um, Now that you ask that, I guess I can answer that right now, be like kind of without much of thought, because I have sat down and kind of traced in prayer when I'm in meditation, like the steps, because I feel like sometimes in my career there's this idea that you make it until you reach a certain physical gain, or like, when you win this award, or when you have millions of streams on your music platforms, or when you're like signed with a an international music label. And if you're not there yet, you haven't made it. That's some of the mundane ideas of success, and it's hard not to fall into that. But yeah, now that you're asking me, I guess, yeah, I'm very grateful and proud in a way. I guess I mean, I think it's healthy to be proud of yourself too,
Absolutely.
because yeah, because it hasn't been easy at all, when you give up a lot of things, and you risk a lot of things when you pursue a career that, like I said, doesn't have a clear path many times,
Yes.
or is non-conventional. Yeah, but I'm very happy and grateful. Thank you for asking that question. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I always love cultures. As you know, when we met, we met through the international student group, right? Because I just had so much fun with the other international students from Germany, from Saudi Arabia,
Yes.
Mexico. It was so fun, and my dream was always to combine cultures, international affairs, and music. So I hope and I pray that I get to do that more, in another scale, even more, so that I can connect with people around the world through music. That's like the greatest thing, the greatest thing ever. So
And and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what saw in your career. Like there's been a lot of travel experiences, and I can just imagine the beauty that it is to keep reinventing yourself, your music, your experiences, because I can just imagine like there was a Mariana in Mexico, and then there's a different Mariana B in San Antonio, and then Austin, and then traveling to the Lincoln Center, and then going to Rome, and then going to Holy Land. And I can
yeah.
just imagine the beauty of jumping into different lands and cultures and people and stages and audiences. So
Mhm.
that truly that's something that's inspiring to me. I love cultures as well. I love traveling. So I can just imagine the beauty of feeling how different people connect through the same song and through music, right? Because at the end of the day, I think music is beautiful just for the fact that it's a form of art that connects us all, and we can all feel the beauty of the song or of your music. So thank you for sharing that. This has been a growth process for sure, and there's a lot of courage behind for you to just be in front of the stage and sing. As a friend, I'm gonna say this as a friend. I remember the first times I saw you like singing in one of the events for international students, and I was like, I didn't know you sing. Like, wow! And then all of a sudden, you were already like uh, following your dream. I can say definitely your story is
Oh,
one of following and chasing the dream and being grateful with all the things that you have accomplished, which more than things, as you said, is not the thing itself. It's the beauty that you bring with each of your creations at the end of the day. So what I want to talk a little bit of now is this process of being in Holy Land, which I can just imagine this was a changing experience for you, just as all the places that you've been. But can you tell us a little bit of how that experience was, and if there's a before and after of this journey?
yeah. Loaded question. Yeah, there is a before and after in my life. Before going to the Holy Land and after my experience there. So the question is like to share a little bit about my experience there.
Yes, like how that was, because I know a little bit of that, but I know our audience maybe they don't know exactly what happened and how that was for you. Like what
Yeah.
once you were there, what happened to Mariana that made you change so much what you were doing?
So okay. So if we go back to 2022, spring of 2022, so now 3 years, so that's crazy. Uh, I was in London for a few weeks doing a showcase of my original pop music that I was gearing up to release as my first independent project. Um, I had invited music labels that are based in the UK and in the US, and some international. Like there's um, obviously a lot of labels that are international, like Universal, Sony, etc., Warner and stuff, and others. And so I invited like, A&Rs from music labels to share my music proposal that I was going to release, and other people, and that went really well, thank God. It was an acoustic session, so I did some songs on the piano, some on the guitar, um, and I basically I get to know me, Mariana B. This is what my project will be, and I shared a little bit about each song, and it went really well. It was packed the place of like young people of different cultures, because London is a very international city,
Yeah.
actually. So there's a lot of like Spaniards, a lot of French people, a lot of, Asian, Arabic. So that went really well, thankfully. And I also had meetings there with agency that works with independent and signed artists, for marketing the music and distribution. So yeah, I had a few things that I was going to do in London, and after that showcase, um I could do like the really long version, but like basically, I got in touch with a Catholic priest that was in Magdala. In Magdala is the hometown of Mary Magdalene. For those that don't know, I've never heard of Magdala. It's in the Holy Land, and the Holy Land basically is in the Middle East and is where Jesus Christ lived, and many of the happenings from the Old Testament, Moses, Abraham, like it's such a holy place because God, the story of salvation took place there. And it's, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but the Holy Land is in Israel, also in Palestinian territory, in some parts of Jordan and Egypt, um, but I went to Israel and Palestine. And so basically Magdala is in Galilee. So it's right by the Sea of Galilee. And it's a beautiful pilgrimage international site, where this hometown was discovered not many years ago underground. And so they have the ancient ruins, they have a beautiful hotel, they have a sanctuary. And basically, I went over to write some songs for the people that visit the Holy Land and Magdala, or other places, to have music from the time that they're there, and bring it home, basically. And
Wonderful.
so in Magdala, in the sanctuary, there's a few chapels, and each one has a beautiful mosaic um, scene of a passage of Jesus, um, like either healing, when he was healing people, or encountering people in Galilee. So one chapel is Mary Magdalene. The other one is of a woman that was sick and bleeding for 12 years. And she believed if she touched the cloak of Jesus, she would be healed, and she was healed. So in that chapel, a lot of healing and a lot of conversion takes place. So they asked me, a song about this. Anyway, so there's songs inspired by moments that took place in the region of Galilee when Jesus lived.
Wonderful.
So I went over, but I didn't think I was how do I say this? I was gonna go for a few days, like 20-ish days, something like that. I was gonna write like maybe 2 or 3 songs, and then continue with my pop project that I was meaning to release.
Yes.
But when I arrived, and when I saw everything, and I had such a deep encounter with Jesus there, like with God, yeah, it touched my heart. It just transformed, and healed a lot of things. And I felt like I went to a retreat for 3 months, because I actually ended up staying 3 months to write all of the songs.
Wow.
Because by the time I was gonna have my flight back to London, I had like 3 songs left, or two, and I said, you know what? O todo o nada, like in Spanish, in English would be either all or nothing. So let me do all the songs. I have 3 more left. So I ended up staying 3 months, and those 3 months were very transformative in my spiritual life, which I believe everything's connected, soul, body, and like spirit, mind. And so yeah, it was like going to like a school of the love of God, you know, but
Yes.
also having very deep conversations, very vulnerable conversations with the people that live in the Holy Land, women, um, like mothers, young women, young guys, grandmothers that were there for like 3 months volunteering, priests, religious women, people of other cultures, like my Muslim friends, Jewish, the Jewish workers that were there. So yeah, it was like somebody said this once, like Jesus went inside my like inner being and my heart, and rearranged all the furniture, and did like a whole thing. So it was like, what's going on? So it was very transformative, but also in that journey there's some pain, because in the change, you have to work on, things that you have to realize things about yourself. It was very challenging to taking on this project solo, and I had to really use my skills that I had learned in school, and to record, produce, like recording engineering, editing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot of things. So it was tough. But yeah, it was
I
very. Yeah.
That's just wonderful because I think I mean, the story is beautiful. And what I'm hearing the most is this purpose. Like a lot of people lose sight of why are they doing things. And
Mm.
it sounds to me that you connected with something deeper within you that gave you purpose to do all of those things. Because at the end of the day, it's hard to do things by ourselves sometimes when there's projects that require a lot of dedication and these uh,
You know about that? Yeah.
these
Yeah.
popular artists, yes, of course, they have the best audio engineers in the world and they have all these millions to do amazing productions.
Yeah.
But when you are by yourself, finding yourself in a
Yeah.
land like Jerusalem and Jordan and just in general the Middle East, and connecting with yourself, finding pieces of yourself that I'm pretty sure you were like maybe shedding, right? Like, and leaving a lot behind and encountering things and being
Yeah.
inspired. So while
Yeah.
doing all of this at the same time, I don't like, I'm sure it was challenging, but what
Yeah.
I'm loving the most, and I hope our audience is catching these pieces because these are the ones that I find super super interesting, is the fact that you kept going and you didn't stop.
Mm.
And from what I know of you is that you finished this amazing product in producing and all of it. I don't know how long it took you, but then finally you got something. And
Yeah.
what is that? Please tell us. Like, how many songs did you end
Yeah.
up writing, and what is the next step?
Yeah. So, and thank you for your kind words. That's what you're saying. That's so nice.
Yes, yes.
So, and likewise with you with, the project that you're working on. So,
Thank
um, yeah, so from two songs, it
you.
led to five and then eight. And then by the time I was leaving the Holy Land, basically we carved out a plan of coming back, like me coming back and filming music videos in the Holy Land because we said now we have all of these songs, and we have the beautiful chapels and we have the beautiful scenery of the Holy Land, and the idea is to promote this. And so they have a great team of like a media team that they film wonderful virtual pilgrimages and meditations and all of that on YouTube. And so, yeah, so that was a plan for me to come back. So I did. So I left. I worked on the production of the songs because they were ready, quote unquote, but they needed, for me, they needed a full production. And as a producer myself and like analyzing music and having studied music, a lot of the songs I could have just, turned in with just guitars and vocals and harmonies. But I knew if I added drums, if I added a bass, if I added the cello and the violin, it would elevate the song. But I also knew that was going to take time and a lot of work outside. So, but I took it upon myself to try to do it. So that's what I did. I left, I produced the songs, and I would say that they have a similar style, but some of them are very different. So each song has its own, because I wanted the person, whoever goes to the Holy Land and listens to this music, to have the Holy Land experience, which is what the album will be called, which I'll get into in a little bit. Um, and so I didn't want it to just be the same for each one. So I had to really care for each song and with all my heart and like for real, like I gave myself to each song.
Wonderful.
And
Wow.
so basically I came back to the Holy Land in 2023 after the production of the songs. And this idea, well, anyway, not to like over talk with so many details, but I stayed for like 3 months ish, under 3 months, and I worked on the English version of some of the songs because some of these songs were only in Spanish And so yeah, they asked me if I could do like one or two in English. But then when I came back, I saw all these people from Asia, from Canada, from the US. I thought, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna, if they go to different parts over there, like in Magdala, for example, like some of the chapels won't have the song in English, and I'm gonna leave them without the song. And I felt this call to try. So I was like, okay, but you're gonna help me. I asked God, like, if you want me to do all the songs in English, I need your help because I write songs in English, but translating a song, it's
Oh,
different than just writing a song out of nowhere, like, hey, I wrote a song in English. Doing the English version of a song in Spanish for it to have the same meaning, the same idea, for it not to be cheesy, for the rhythm and the melody, everything to make sense. For me, was a big task, and not something that I was, to be honest, looking forward to as much because I knew it was going to be hard. And, when we're working on something we care about, a lot of our insecurities come out, so it was tough. But I did have a team of translators I work with. I did the draft of all the songs, and then I would bounce ideas with some, especially because I didn't want to say something I'm not supposed to in like the realm of like Christian, Catholic theology and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to get a green light with that. So in the end, I ended up doing all the songs in English and Spanish. And now they're going to be two albums.
wow.
Long story short, long story short. So now it's two albums, one in English and one in Spanish.
Wow.
Each album will have two songs in Latin because that's that's how those songs were meant to be. And
Yeah.
it's not pop in Latin, people, don't worry. But that would be interesting, but it's more like choral, like meditative. So those two songs are different. The other ones are more contemporary. And yeah, and so that's it. So each one has, oof, I hope I get this right. It's about 11, like not about 10 songs in each album for the English one has about 12 songs and the Spanish one 10. And yeah, and that's it. And so the English one is called the Holy Land Experience, and the Spanish one Experiencia Tierra Santa, which is the same in Spanish.
Wow.
And God willing, it will come out this year. So
That's amazing, Mariana. It's
welcome.
I think I'm very like, by the way, even though I've been a friend of yours and I have followed like a lot of what you've done, like I'm so blessed that you're able to share the details here, because a lot of times we don't know what the person's processes are like. Like we typically see the results and we think, oh, how amazing. Let me go follow and listen to this song. We have no idea what this person had to go through to get that piece.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just mentioned right now, just by hearing it, it's overwhelming. But at the end, I'm sure that when you like listen to a finished song, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of reward and happiness in your heart. And I would like to ask you, just because I'm very intrigued in how we can connect this to what people go through in
Yeah.
whatever their passion is, right? For example, I love communications and I'm right now developing a research, and I know friends of mine are in ballet and others are in business. So we all have different passions. But at the core, I think we all struggle with one thing, which is sometimes the the consistency and the guidance and the resources of being able to continue doing our passion, but at the
Yeah.
same time making sure that we are also surviving. And there's so many
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
So I think to connect all of those inner fears that a lot of us face, I'm sure you went through a lot of fears as well and through a lot of challenges. What can you tell me that was one of the lights that kept you going when things were hard? when challenges were right in front of you, and maybe you also thought of, I don't know if you ever thought this, but should I continue singing or should I keep doing this? What kept you going?
Hmm. That's such a good question because I feel like it can be applied in for most people, I guess, when they're trying to pursue something. Um, so the question is like, what kept me going, right? And like,
Yes, like what
yeah.
guided
So,
you through the challenging times?
well, I have to credit my faith a lot for this process, especially when I ended up doing a project that was directly related to, to my faith. I guess that also helped, but I also felt more responsibility in that way.
Yeah.
But I will say I will say that what has kept me going is my faith in a knowledge in my inner being, very profound,
Yes.
that 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 God has like gave me a mission and like a desire in my heart for a reason, and there's a purpose. And it's just nothing has made me want to quit, because I've had people tell me, with a lot of love, give you like advice and say like, you can have an executive level job and be earning this much yearly with your international affairs career, because I've had the chance to be to go to the UN and do all these other things, but it's just, I feel like it's a vocation. It's a vocation that God plants in your heart. And so there are challenges that make you grow, and a lot of things, most things you have to work for, but I feel like it's a collaboration with God's providence in a way, because I reached out to get in touch with this, to contact this priest in the Holy Land to say hello, and that I was in London showcasing music. And then that led to this idea of this collaboration, So, and my going to London was, from San Antonio to London, and preparing for that, and everything was a challenge as well. So one thing leads to another, but I feel like believing in something greater than yourself, knowing that you can depend on, not to sound preachy, but in my case, in my father, in God, as a father who will support you, and if you feel like you're gonna fall, he's gonna catch you, and he's gonna put the right people in your path to keep going. And you have doubts, that you can go to people as well and ask for help. Like, I've had a spiritual director since 2022, like spiritual guide, and he's helped me follow this journey, but in a more meaningful way that brings about closeness to God, instead of sort of drifting from my faith. So I would say, for whoever is trying to follow or pursue something that seems very difficult, that it helps a lot to just have a belief in someone greater than yourself, that has omnipotent power over everything, and that everything happens for a reason. There's a plan in everything, and knowing that you are capable of pursuing that, because he put it in your heart for a reason. So if that thing you're wanting to do will bring about beauty, love, connection, human connection, union, intellect, like good things, then you should keep pursuing it and know that yeah, the doors will open for you, the right ones, and to keep walking, literally keep taking steps, because I didn't think I would end up in the Holy Land ever. Yeah, I never thought in my dreams, that was not in my plans, but I guess that was in his plans. And yeah, I always wanted to create connection through music, and like love and hope and uplift through music. Um, and I hope with my other pop music that I am working on this year, that people like the songs. I mean, I hope, but I hope I do a good job with those. But I never thought that my first sort of kind of my path would lead me to do this type of project. So I guess yeah, just believe in yourself, as cliche as it sounds, and believe in something greater than yourself, so you're not only relying in yourself, because that's when you get anxiety, you get sadness, all these temptations of quitting, and all these voices from other people saying, what are you doing? Like, this is very, you shouldn't do that. You should do this instead. And like, just shush out all the noise, and like, in silence, in prayer, be good with yourself and with your guide. And yeah, just keep taking steps. Let's see where, and we don't know where those are going to lead us, but just take steps, I guess. I'm trying to do that too. I'm auto telling that to myself, because I have
Yes.
to practice what I preach.
No,
Yeah.
but you're so right, Mariana. It's so important to keep sight of something greater than ourselves, and just reminding that we have zero control over the things that we can't control. And
Yeah.
I love human connections, and I'm a passionate of psychology and all of these topics that I love. And one of the things that I have learned and love also, that my faith applies as well, is that we cannot control no other than how we feel, our actions, and how we show up to things. Kind of the attitude, right, towards life.
Yeah.
And I try to to remind myself that often, because it's easy, as you said, to fall for the trap of, I'm not doing enough, or I should be doing this, or I should be going there, or asking for thousands of advice that at the end of the day leaves you feeling that you're not even following your own path anymore, because you're maybe going through the path of a cousin or of your friend, or who what will do, I don't know, XYZ. It sounds to me that you are extremely grounded to who you are, and I think one of the probably main
Trying.
reasons is you allowing yourself to be in silence, to be inspired, writing, and connecting to develop these amazing albums that I can't wait to hear and see you perform more.
Yes.
And if you would like to share with us which songs are your favorite, and that you can tell us like, um, these are, I don't know, like this is the song that really represents, I don't know, something that means a lot to you. I know each of them means a lot, but if you can give us that. And I would like after that to proceed with a little dynamic that we do in the podcast, which is you're gonna answer a question that my past guest left for you. It's it's a question that it's kind of a surprise question, and then you're gonna give us one for the next guest. So if you can just give us like that song that moves you a lot, and a little bit of the story behind. And again, thank you for all of the things that you're sharing with us.
Thank you, Jackie. Um, okay, so out of like the songs coming out, to share about like one or two songs that I really.
Your favorites, let's say your babies. I know all of them are, but I don't know if there's like a baby or one that you truly feel connected that you would like to share with us.
um, yeah, that's a hard answer. So, because the songs are very like unique. Each one is very different in what the message is trying to convey. I would say, and I hope that all of the songs lead whoever listens to this music to hope, love, faith, trust, those virtues, joy. um but let me think. Okay, I guess like my favorites change with time.
Yes.
So right now, the song that comes to mind, so I'll share two. One is called Into Deep Waters,
All right.
and in Spanish is called Remat Mar Adentro. Uh, and that song is very like, feel like it evokes this desire to like go and like row into deep waters, like let's go, and the deep waters is basically life, it's basically whatever stage in life you're in. And it's inspired by the passage of Jesus calling his the two disciples to become fishermen of men, and he tells them, like leave the nets and basically follow me, and we're gonna fish, we're gonna catch hearts basically. So that's kind of how I perceive it, and so it's about that call of action, of like going and um catching, hearts, and seeking the hearts, and knowing that if I'm sailing in his peace, uh, I'm trying to remember the lyrics. Sailing on peace. Yeah, like I'll go and sail into deep waters. Sailing in your peace, like I'll be fine. I'm not afraid anymore. Let's go. It's that vibe, kind of like,
Wow.
and it repeats a lot. I'll go and row into deep waters. And I wanted to make it kind of like yeah, like the style of the drums is very like 80s, like like Phil Collins, the Tarzan
Oh,
soundtrack,
I love it.
like yeah, like very like tropical. I don't know. I wanted to evoke that idea. I hope it comes through.
Wonderful.
And the I've been performing these songs recently in several places in countries now, I guess. And that one is fun because it repeats a lot. Like the chorus, like the post chorus. That one's, yeah, I guess that one's a favorite right now. And the other one I would say, and also that's probably gonna be, I don't know if I'm oversharing, but that's probably gonna be the first like single
Okay.
soon. Um, there's one single out already called New Life, and that's the Mary Magdalene song. But that was released in 2023, and it was an exception. And so now like the first releases formally for the album, I think will be this song, and in Spanish too. So yeah, fun fact, or only here exclusive. Um,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, exclusive. I haven't said that out loud. So yeah.
Wonderful.
The other one I'm thinking of right now is a song called And Then Jesus Came.
Nice.
And it's a really fun song. That's the last song I wrote for all of this whole Holy Land project. And it was kind of like an unexpected song in the end. It kind of, de pilón, you know how they say in Spanish. O
Yes.
sea, it came at the end like without expecting it. And I usually close the concerts with that song because it just makes people want to get up and just kind of like
Dance.
it that one's that yeah, literally dance. And I know that the name of the song is very like cheesy for some people, like And Then Jesus Came, but it's not what you expect. Like
Wow.
the song is like it makes people like it's a song you work out with, or like it's very catchy, and it was really fun, and I produced that one in Mexico because that one was like the last one, like I said. As I was mixing the other, like the album, this one came in the end. I guess those things happen often. I've heard other artists say like, oh, this song I thought the album was done, and then we came up with this song, and it became part of the album. So that one's the other favorite because it just makes people want to like get up and like
Yes,
woo, even if you're not used to listening to that type of music, I feel like you won't
got
resist
you.
it. Yeah, it's fun. And I feel like that song has a big purpose and a big mission because I just feel it. Like I feel like it can do great things, and I'm trying to, or I'm not gonna overshare like details, but I'm seeing if it could be a collaboration, like a big media project that
Wonderful.
is related with
Wow.
that. And that would be so cool because I just feel like it would work. But I'm in the process of seeing if that actually goes through. So I don't know. I just feel like this song is gonna go somewhere. I don't know
Yeah.
where, but it's gonna go somewhere, hopefully internationally.
That's amazing,
Could
Mariana.
be. Yeah.
Congratulations for this amazing heart of yours that is giving us a lot of these songs that I can't wait to hear all of those. And to close this episode, I would love to ask you the question that our past guest, Gabriel Garza, left for you. And his question was, what action that you did today do you feel that increased your happiness, or was there an action that you put in today that made you feel that way?
I would say, um, in the morning, I'm trying to work on my prayer life, like as a routine, because that keeps me centered, and especially in this so uncertain, I guess, career that I'm in. I would say that I did a meditation, and kind of prayer meditation this morning. I like to read before I do my exercise in the morning. And I always try to have some sort of spiritual book apart from any other books excuse me, that I'm reading, like a book that gives me like spiritual food, if that makes sense. So yeah, this morning I'm using the app Hallow. I don't know if you've heard of the app.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's like very well known right now, and it's an international thing now. It's a prayer app for prayer and meditation, and they have all kinds of meditations, of prayers, stories of, and you can put like ocean wave sounds or white noise or chant, Gregorian chant, and it's just so soothing for starting your day. And there's a Lent challenge,
Yeah.
so it's just like every day is like a reflection or like a faith story. So I did that this morning, and then I read a little bit from a book. So I guess that uplifted me because, and I like to do some exercise every day of, I like to move every day. And I guess that helps. But in the uplifting sense, I would say the other one is more uplifting in some ways because you have to feed your spiritual muscle. And if I don't do that, like I know myself, I fall in the temptation of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, you know,
Yes,
so noise of the world.
absolutely.
So yeah, I guess that made me feel more uplifted, even when I feel very dry, you know, spiritually dry as well, like, not feeling anything because most of the times it's not about feelings, right? In the faith, it's like that's why you believe, because you believe even if you don't see it, you believe
Yes.
it's gonna happen and God is with you. Yeah, that was good. So I recommend that to people, finding a prayer or a routine of meditation or spiritual reading.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that's very helpful, and we all need to reconnect with that piece in life. It's so important, crucial. And if Mariana, if you would like to leave us with the last question for our next guest, who is going to be surprised, I would love to hear that out so that we can keep it for the next episode.
Okay, so um, okay, I'm formulating the question in my head.
Yes.
Um, have you had or do you have a person in your life that you currently look up to, that has been an inspiration during the tough times in whatever stage of life you're in, either in career, personal, or in any other field? Like, is there someone that you look up to or that serves as an inspiration to persevere and to keep going?
That's a wonderful question.
That's a
I
good.
can't wait to ask. This is the
Ooh, I
purpose of
wonder
this
who
circle.
that's gonna be.
Yes, yes, yes.
Curious to find out, so I'll be in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mariana B. It was an honor to have you. I hope you enjoy this time, and I hope that all of our listeners and our viewers um, can be able to connect with these stories of yours and all the success in all of these amazing projects that you have in mind. And I can't wait to have a next episode with you in a couple of years maybe or sooner, where you're going to be probably sharing with us that, I don't know, you won a Grammy or something amazing. Like, let's put it in the universe. And
Lord.
this is what I say all the time. It's one of my friends, for example, plays football, and I always tell him like, soon I'm gonna see you in the Super Bowl. And sometimes they laugh, but if we don't put it out there and if we don't trust the process, I think beautiful souls like you, like amazing friends that I have, like we have to say that out loud to believe that people with good hearts are able to be in those uh, amazing
Yeah.
scenarios and full of eyes that can see you and hear you. And it will be an honor for me to just follow your career a lot closer. So thank you for
That
being
would be so amazing. And likewise with your project. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you. And we'll definitely have to do a check-in, and see where we are. Yeah.
yeah,
I
next
can't
time
wait for
probably
the
we're gonna be in a studio and everything's gonna be different. So
yes.
yes, thank you so
Okay.
much, Mariana, and thank you to all of our viewers. We see you in the next episode, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.